Hi, my name is Laura Abuya. Some people call me Lawrence for some strange reason that I don't know. Yeah, and I'm going to share with you a very personal story about myself. Sometime last year, a girl got herself into a relationship, and it was nice. It was nice. Of course, any relationship at the beginning it's nice, but here is the part that I want to talk about, whereby I felt broken at some point because of what transpired. So this person I was seeing at the moment lost a family member. They lost a grandmother and they went home for the funeral. And then at some point I visited with friends, and then we were done, we came back. But then for him, he had to stay for a little bit longer. So there's this day he was supposed to come back. He contacted me, told me he was coming home. And then me, I went ahead and started preparing dinner for two. Yes, I was living alone at the moment. And then he goes silent, and then I decided to call. He doesn't pick. I called like 2, 3, 4, 5 times, and eventually someone answered, and it was a lady. I spoke to this lady, and she was like, I'm sorry, your boyfriend left his phone with me. It's in my bag, but let me get it to him so that you can talk. A few minutes later, he gets the phone, we get to talk, and then he goes like, I will call you back, which never happened. So I ended up eating my dinner by myself. Yeah, it sucked big time. And he never called, and there was no explanation. So a day later, still silence. I tried calling. I called several times. I guess that's my way of showing that I care. He never responded. So I tried calling him with a different number, a friend's phone, and then he answered, and when he had, it was me on the other end. He hung up on me. So I decided to go back on WhatsApp and text him and tell him like, if I did something wrong, you could just tell me so that we know how to fix it. Nothing. I sent several texts later. Of course I was frustrated because me, I don't like silent treatment at all. You'd rather tell me what's up so that we figure out how to fix it. And then he was still giving me the silent treatment. So eventually I told him, if you want to end things with me, you could just, we could do that. It's better than what I'm going through at the moment. And then at that point, he responded. So I was like, okay, so that is what you waited for me to say, for you to respond. Like, there is a couple of things I have texted you about, like gallons, so many things, and you were reading my text and then you did not respond. But the moment I mentioned a breakup, you had the time to respond. And then he went ahead and told me that I was making everything about me. I was not giving him space to mourn his family member that he had lost. Yeah, and stuff like that. He said I was selfish, I was making everything about myself. But deep down me, I knew that was my way of caring. Like, how was I supposed to show up for him again? I don't know what I did wrong, but that was me trying to be there for him. And actually he initiated the very first text. He said that he was going to come over. So me, I was just following up. And then when I do that, it turns out I was selfish. I was just looking out for myself. Long story short, that's how we ended things. Yeah, on very bad terms. And I was super frustrated. I went to the nearest barber shop. I cut my hair. Yeah, I do that sometimes. And at some point he reached out to have a conversation with me, but I think it wasn't good time for me at that time. I had already made a decision because I think I had already mourned the breakup and all that. So by the time he was reaching out to me, I was already done. So yeah, that was it. So when I interact with people who have been through the same, I can always relate. I can always feel their pain because I have been there, and silent treatment just sucks. So whenever I get myself, of course I always get into relationships, spending kwa single sana. So I express that. I tell someone the one thing I don't really appreciate is when someone gives me that cold shoulder or just silent treatment because you're mad at me or something. Just tell me you need some time and I will respect that. I would appreciate that instead of you just going silent or going MIA on me without an explanation, or just tell me what I did. Or if just you need time before we can have this conversation, just tell me that. So guys, while we are at it again, it's my birthday. I am turning very many years old today. Not very many, just in my second decade. So yeah guys, wish me a happy birthday. And actually I decided to do this on my birthday because it feels like some sort of rebirth to me. And these stories, as time goes, they are going to be like some sort of a series, kind of, so that there's akaflow do it makes sense, for lack of a better explanation. Anyways, basically that was just like one instance that inaonyesha some of the toxic things that people go through in relationships, and I don't advocate for that. And some are just instances, stories I have heard from people in regard to the kind of job I do. I am a mental health activist, and you hear a story and sometimes you relate, sometimes you're like, so when that was happening to me, I didn't even notice, because usually it's always easier for the person on the other side to realize that you are actually struggling with something, this is not right, whatever happening to you in a relationship. So yeah, and I also feel there's another toxic trait that we tend to not pay so much attention to in relationships, because inakasi it's not such a big deal, because saa zingine hata inakuanga part of the conversations as ile mko pillow talk. For example, I'll talk about myself, something I wish I paid attention to earlier. For instance, when you are in a relationship and then your partner's friends start hitting on you, that is a major red flag. I wish I knew that earlier, because it was actually the other day I was doing some sort of self-introspection and I realized it happened. And when I give it a deep thought, I realized these people who are your partner's friends, when they know your partner is respectful and does not entertain other people, they will respect you, they will accord you the same respect. But the moment you see your your partner's friends hitting on you, that is a very dangerous sign. That is something I really wish ninge figure out mapema earlier on in life, because it has happened to me before. And mimi nikifika home na tuko na mtu wangu tunapiga mshane, namwambia bibi rafiki yako alikuwa ananitext, hadi namuonyesha hizo messages, namwambia hadi alinicall sana, anashtuka na kusaidia kushtuka hapo hivyo. But honestly, that is one thing you should pay attention to, and you can't convince me otherwise. I don't know what you guys think, but when your partner's friends are hitting on you, don't let that one slide. Just think about it. Yeah. And there are so many things that we tend to ignore that happen, and then we feel like a man overreact. Kama ushaidate mtu mwenye bado ako in touch na ex wake, kuna zile situations zenye mwezi avoid, for example if they work together and stuff like that. But kuna situations zingine ni like they are constantly talking, like every day. That is something I think is also toxic, because you'd be you'd be in a space, maybe you're with your person and then you're talking about something and then they bring up the ex. That one kills the vibe. I don't know, maybe to me that is just a total buzzkill, because maybe I will actually switch you off. I won't continue listening. Doesn't matter what you are talking about. Yes, I try to understand, like sometimes you work together and stuff like that, you have to have conversations here and there, but then to me it's a buzzkill. As time goes, we'll be discussing some of these, no, actually not some, all of them, in as much as we might not exploit them, but there's a lot of things that happen and we don't pay much attention to them, but we should. I feel we should pay attention to them, because at the end of the day, you end up realizing either you wasted time, or you didn't pay attention to the things you should have, and as much as they might seem insignificant at the moment. But yeah, it's important we look at these things, and I really hope at the end of the day someone gets to learn what they need to understand as a safe relationship, or rather what they should question or address in a relationship before it gets too toxic. Yeah. Thanks guys. Bye. Wish me happy birthday. Love you.